Today, I'm going to show you a complete beginner's guide of the iPhone. I'm going to show you some of my favorite tips, tricks, and hidden features allowing you to leave this video as an iPhone expert. Let's get started. On the front of the packaging, you've got an image of the iPhone itself. It says iPhone on the side, the Apple logo, and you've got some specs on the very back. You've got two pull straps, one at the top, one at the bottom, and you can go ahead and pull those off. They're paper. You just rip them off just like that to gain access to the box. You rip the one that's on the bottom off like that, and you flip it over, and then you can open up the box, and the iPhone is right there presented in front of you. Here we've got a pull tab at the very bottom. We can go ahead and pull this up, and the iPhone 16e is right here. Inside it comes with a nicely braided USB-C to USB-C cable. And then inside it says iPhone. You've got your safety paperwork and your quick start guide and all the necessary things you need to get started with your iPhone. And that's all that's in the box here. You've got the USB-C cable to charge. You can plug that into your computer or your power brick and then plug it up into your phone. If we put the box to the side here, we can take a look at the iPhone itself. We can take a look at the buttons that are on the side. You've got the mute switch right here. You've got one mute switch. You got the volume up, the volume down, volume up, volume down. And then on the bottom here, you've got your charging port right here. You can plug this up to charge your USB-C connection port. On the right side of the phone, you've got your power button. You press this to turn on the phone. And then those are all the buttons on the phone. We can go ahead and peel this paper just like that. We can take it off. And we're presented with this screen. You've got your front-facing camera, the notch here for Face ID. You've got the single camera on the very back with the flash. And this is the brand new iPhone 16e. Let's go ahead and boot it up for the very first time and see what it's like to set up this device. So you just hold down the power button on the right side. You hold that down just like that. And the Apple logo comes on and it starts to boot up for the very first time. Now this should be a very simple startup process, especially if you have an iPhone already. It boots up and it has our lovely welcome hello message in most of every connection here. So it says hello in various different languages. So you're able to swipe up. This is the first iPhone that has officially killed all of the home buttons. Apple does not sell an iPhone anymore with the home button. So in order to go home or to proceed, you swipe up from the bottom and you're presented with an option to select your language. So you can select English or you can select whichever language you speak that you want to set up this iPhone in. So I'm going to go ahead and press English. And then it wants us to select your country or region. So here we can select United States, or if you're from a different region, you can select that as well and proceed with the setup process. Next up is appearance. You can choose how you would like the icons to look on your iPhone. So this is also text and icons. So default is like this. We can move it over to medium, which makes it a little bit bigger, or we can move it over to large, which makes it even bigger. So you can use this sliding scale to see which font size you like on your iPhone. I'll go ahead and leave it on medium, and then I'll press this blue continue button and move on. Next up is quick start. So if you do have another device nearby, you can bring it into play and it will allow you to quickly transfer all of those settings from your previous device over to the brand new device that we have here right in front of us. So if you don't have another device nearby, then you'll go ahead and press this blue text at the very bottom that says set up without another device. So you'll go ahead and press that one time, and then it's going to ask for our Wi-Fi network. So we'll go ahead and select our Wi-Fi network. I'm going to do this off camera just to preserve my privacy here. I'm going to type in my password, and then it's going to move over to activate the iPhone. So it takes a few minutes to activate the iPhone after you type in your Wi-Fi password and you select your Wi-Fi network. It'll connect to Apple servers and work its magic. And then it's letting us know that there is a software update available. You can go ahead, if you'd like, and you have some time on your hand, you can press the update now button, this blue button, and it will update now. But if you want to get to your phone as soon as possible, you can press the update later. And later in this video, I'll show you exactly where to go to do this software update to make sure you have the latest bug fixes and security updates. For the purpose of this demo video, I'm going to press setup later, but if you do have some extra time, I would highly recommend updating now with this blue button. Next up is data privacy. So whenever this icon shows up, it's letting you know that Apple's collecting some data and they, are using that data in tune with their privacy policy, and they believe that privacy is a fundamental right. So whenever this shows up, it's a feature letting you know that Apple can possibly use your personal information. You can learn more, or you can go ahead and hit this blue continue button in order to move on to the next stages here. Next up, it says set up iPhone. So if you're setting this up for a child in the family, you can press this text at the very bottom that says set up for a child in my family. But if you're setting this up for yourself, then you press this blue button that says set up for myself. We're going to be setting this up for ourselves, so we'll press that button, that big blue button. Next up is Face ID. So the iPhone can recognize us using the Face ID that's at the very top to unlock our phone, make purchases with Apple Pay, and subscribe to services. If you don't want to set this up, you can press this blue text at the very bottom that says set up later. If you do want to set it up, you can press this blue continue button and it's going to start asking you to set up your face. So you'll want to position your face in the middle of this frame here, and then you're going to have to move your head in a circle and trace it, kind of like with your nose. Move your nose all the way around until all the green lines show up in a circle. So to get started, you press this blue button right here. You press it one time, and then I'm going to put my face into the circle. And now with my nose, I'm going to do a 360 all the way around until it's identified me. Next up, it wants to use Face ID with the mask. So if you're wearing a mask, you can select use Face ID with a mask. If you don't have a mask and you're not wearing a mask, you can say don't use Face ID with the mask. I'm going to go ahead and say use Face ID with the mask. It's going to ask us to position our head in the frame one more time and then complete a circle. So with your nose, move all the way around and see if you can get all the lines to fill up here. So once follow the arrow. It's having some difficulty at the very bottom here. And there we go. So you may have to move your head multiple times all the way around. Now it wants us to remove the glasses. So I'm going to remove my glasses for a third scan. I'll press this blue continue button. It's going to highlight my face, and I'll do the same thing. It wants me to move closer, so I'm going to move closer without my glasses and do a whole 360 with my head. And there we go. We have successfully set up Face ID with and without a mask. So we had to do 3 scans there. You can add different pairs of glasses within the setting and cool features that we've got here. So I'll go ahead and press this blue continue button to move on. Now it wants us to create a passcode. I highly recommend picking a passcode that's strong, that no one knows. I'm going to go ahead and pick my passcode off camera. And I'll go ahead and enter my passcode. So you'll have to re-enter it once you enter it one time. And next up is the transfer your apps and data section. So you can transfer from an iCloud backup, from another phone, from a Mac or PC, or from Android. And if you don't have any of these devices, then you can select don't transfer anything. So I don't have any of these other devices, so I'm going to be setting up this phone as a brand new phone. But if you do want to transfer from something that's synced over to your iCloud, or if it's another phone that you want to plug in, or from a Mac and PC, you can transfer all that content, even from Android. So you just select whichever one you want from that option. I'm going to go ahead and select don't transfer anything, and we'll move on to the next phase here. So now it wants us to sign in with our Apple ID. So if you don't have an Apple ID, then you can press this forgot password or don't have an Apple ID. You just press that once, and then you can say set up later in settings, or if you'd like, you can create an Apple ID right here on your phone. If you forgot your password, you can select that. And then there's also other sign-in options right here where you can use another device to sign in or use multiple accounts. For this purpose of this video, I'm going to go ahead and skip the Apple ID process. I highly recommend for you to set this up so you can use services like iCloud, the App Store. If you want to download an app on your iPhone, you're going to need an Apple account. So you'll need to either make one or sign in with one. And I can show you how to do that later if you decide to skip this also. So I'm going to say set up later in settings, and then it's going to just double check. Are you sure you want to do that? Because again, without an Apple account, you cannot use Apple Pay. You cannot download an app from the App Store. You can't use the iCloud services or anything. So I'm going to say don't use, and then we can set up one later in the settings if we would like. So I'll go ahead and press the agree button for the terms and conditions. You'll need to scroll through, read those, and agree to those in order to use the phone. And now it wants to know if we should update the iPhone automatically. So you've got two options at the very bottom here. You've got this blue button where you can press continue and update the phone automatically, or you can say only download the update automatically, but then you will have to manually install it. I highly recommend pressing the blue button so you don't have to worry about it. You can always stay secure on the latest software and it will update the phone automatically. Next up is iMessage and FaceTime. People can contact you using iMessage and FaceTime using the email address and phone number on your account. You can go ahead and press the continue button to set this up. Next up is location services. You can turn on location services and other apps will be able to use your location. This is perfect if you want to order food or you want to get a delivery or you want to look at locations of, restaurants or stores nearby. It'll need your location in order to do that. And you'll need to press this blue turn on button. I'm going to go ahead and press it, and for my security, I'm going to do it off camera. And that way my location doesn't pop up. So next up is set up cellular. You can transfer a phone number from a nearby phone or scan a QR code. Typically with an eSIM, you'll scan a QR code, but if you already have this eSIM on another phone, then you press transfer from a nearby phone. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you later in settings how we set up cellular on this device. Let's talk about cellular really quick. You can access your cellular settings after you set up your phone and then heading over to the settings button and then tapping on cellular. Mint Mobile is the partner of this video, and I'm excited to tell you all about them because everyone wants to cut back on their monthly bills, but it's extremely hard to sacrifice luxuries and lifestyles. But Mint Mobile lets you cut back on your phone bill without really sacrificing anything. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 per month, and you can get high-speed data, unlimited talk and text on the largest nation's 5G network. You can even bring your own phone along with your current phone number and existing contacts. It's really easy to set up service. All you have to do is just activate one of their digital eSIMs. They also have physical SIMs if you're into that. And they ship it completely for free. They don't have any retail stores or salespeople, and instead they deliver premium phone services directly to you. And all you have to do is just reach out. If you want to save more money without sacrifice, go to trymintmobile.com/appfind or click the link in the description to get a premium wireless plan at just $15 per month when you purchase a 3-month plan. Now let's check out how we set up Mint Mobile on our brand new iPhone 16e, and this is a very similar process for other phones that also support eSIMs. Getting set up with your eSIM on Mint Mobile is easy. You download the app and you set up your account, you purchase your plan, and then you can select whether you want to keep an existing number or get a new number, and then press this orange continue button. Then you can enter in your zip code. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my zip code off camera to protect my privacy. After you enter in your zip code and you type in your details, you can press this orange activate card button, and then the magic begins. So it takes a few minutes to process, to collect your number and create your eSIM, and then you'll be saving a ton of money, and it's really exciting that you'll be able to set it up on your brand new iPhone 16e or any other device that you currently have that you've downloaded the Mint Mobile application on. So be sure not to exit this screen while it's processing. It's doing all of the magic behind the scenes while it gets your phone number set up. And then this little nice widget down here tells you some tips as you're along the way. So you can stay tuned there. They've got auto renew to avoid service interruptions. You just set it and forget it, and your plan will automatically renew. And they've got tons of cool features within this application that allows you to manage your plan and your eSIM. You can save even more by referring a friend, and then we're good to go. We're activated. So your activation is complete. Now it's time to set up the eSIM on our device. So we're going to press this orange continue button one time, and now it wants us to install the eSIM. The eSIM stands for electronic SIM, and then this way we can start using our number from Mint Mobile. So we press this orange install eSIM button. It's going to open our device settings. We press it one time. It's going to say activate new eSIM. We'll want to hit the allow button. We'll hit allow, and then it's going to connect to our carrier. It's going to take a few minutes, and with ease, we can activate our eSIM, and it's ready to go. Our eSIM from Ultra Mint Mobile is ready to activate. We press this blue continue button one time. It starts to prepare, and it's talking to the servers. It works its magic again, and by using the Mint Mobile app, we logged in with our details and we were good to go. And now it's using the device settings on our iPhone S or our iPhone 16e here to activate and connect to the network. So this does take a few moments here as it processes everything. It says connecting to the network, and now we're good to go. Cellular setup is complete and it's now active on this device, and we can press this blue done button, and just like that, we were easily able to set up our eSIM on this device. We can set up a password, and we can download and share our number and get calls and texts. Really easy setup process here to get started. And now when we swipe down from Control Center, we can see at the very top that we're presented with the Mint cellular service in the top left here of our phone. Mint's network is extremely fast. We can go ahead and run a speed test right here on their 5G network, and you can see how many megabits per second you get down right here using this internet speed test on their cellular network. You can test the upload speed, and we're getting 11 megabits per second right here on our upload, a really fast speed for Mint Mobile's network. So you can see how fast it is. You can run the test again, and you can use Mint Mobile for all your connection needs on your brand new iPhone 16e or any other phone that's unlocked and that you set up your Mint Mobile with an eSIM on. They also have physical SIM cards if you still would like to use that. So a really cool setup process that we have right here using Mint 5G network. Screen time. This is a great way to monitor how often you're using your phone. You get a weekly report with all the insights of what apps you're using, how much time you spent, what your most popular notifications are. You can also set up parent controls on child devices for screen time to monitor their usage. If you don't want to set this feature up, then you can say set up later in settings, or you can press this continue button right here, and this will turn it on. Next up is iPhone Analytics. If you choose to share with Apple, you press this big blue button right here, and that will allow Apple to know, how your phone is being used, and they can use that data to better improve the operating system and the features that they develop in the future based off what's being sent to them. This is not required. If you don't want to share those personal analytics, then you can press this don't share text at the very bottom of the page. Or if you do want to share this, you can press the big blue button that says share with Apple. I'll go ahead and press share with Apple. Next up is App Analytics. And this is very similar to sharing data with Apple, except instead of sending data to Apple directly, you're going to be sending data to the developer of the application that you're using. So say you download an app from the App Store and you're currently using that application and it crashes or something goes wrong, then if you turn this feature on that says share with app developers, it's going to send them a notification and an email and let them know, hey, this person using your app, it just crashed. Here's the chat, here's the log, the crash report, the crash data, and here's something you could possibly fix. So that's what will happen if you press share with app developers. If you're using a third-party app from the App Store and something goes wrong, you can share that crash data directly to the developer using Apple's technology built in. And they try to do their best to keep it as secure as possible so you're not sharing a lot of private information. But if you don't want to turn this on, you press this text at the very bottom that says don't share. If you do want to turn this on, you press this big blue button that says share with app developers. So I'll go ahead and press the blue button, and we'll move on to one of my favorite steps of the setup process. Do we want a light or dark display? I'm a little biased. I absolutely love the dark mode. I have dark mode on everything, but there are three options here. You can keep it in light mode, which looks like this, where everything's by default, in a light version. You can move it to dark, where everything by default will always be in a dark mode version, or you can have it in an auto format, so where it will switch depending on the time of day. So in the morning it'll be light, and at night it'll be dark. Me personally, I love to keep it in dark mode 24/7 because I'm absolutely a fan of dark mode. So you can pick whichever version you want, and you can press this blue continue button to move forward with the next steps. Next up is Apple Intelligence, which gives you great features like writing and summarization. The start of a new era for Siri where it actually understands you. And of course it's built for privacy and a lot safer with your data than other operating systems that use voice. So you can go ahead and press this blue continue button. Apple Intelligence is in beta and continually getting better over time as developers and Apple ships more features to it. So you press this blue button to continue. Next up is Visual Intelligence, which is a really cool feature and brand new to this iPhone 16e, which uses the action button right here, or I guess we can call it an action button, but this button right here to activate Visual Intelligence. So you can use it says for here actually you'll open it in Control Center and use the camera to identify plants and animals. So it doesn't look like this button is mapped out to that yet, but I know in Twitter rumors that has been a feature to possibly use this button. So this looks like this button actually is just a silence switch for now, but if you want to use Visual Intelligence, you can go to Control Center and activate Visual Intelligence rather than pressing a button. Because I know on the other iPhones, the iPhone 16 models, they put Visual Intelligence right here on the side on the camera control module, but since the camera control module does not exist right here on the 16e, it looks like we're going to have to go to the Control Center rather than using a physical button for it at this stage in time. So maybe in future updates they'll enable a physical button, but for the setup process right here, we'll open Visual Intelligence in Control Center and use the camera to identify plants, animals, and translate languages. And if Apple does allow you to use a button in the future, we'll let you know. So we'll go ahead and press this blue continue button and we'll move forward to the next phase of this setup process. So next up is the action button. So the action button is on this iPhone 16e. You can press and hold to turn on silent mode, on and off, and then you can customize the action button to open camera, turn on flashlight, or access a favorite iPhone feature. So let's press this blue customize button and we can see all of the different features. Silent mode, we can swipe to move. You've got a focus mode, you've got a camera mode, and here we can say what type of photo is going to be taken in the camera mode. And here's Visual Intelligence. So it didn't show this in the previous stage. So we can map out this button to the Visual Intelligence as I previously had thought. So right here you can map the vision or the action button to Visual Intelligence. This was not previously mentioned in the preview message we just saw. It referenced Control Center rather than the action button, but it does look like we can do that. So that's a cool feature. We have the flashlight, voice memo, recognize music, translate, magnifier, and more. So really cool. You can also do a shortcut if you want to design your own automation or an accessibility feature. So you've got, a lot of features right here that this one button can do. For now, I'm going to keep it on Visual Intelligence since that's been the theme, and we'll demo what that looks like. So I'll go ahead and press this blue continue button to keep that on Visual Intelligence. And now we'll move on to Siri. So for Siri, you can just say the word Siri and then your request, or you can press and hold the side button right here and speak when Siri appears. So we'll press this blue continue button, and then it wants us to select a voice.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun. As the colors of the sky fade with the setting sun.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun as the stars begin to shine through the clear night.
So you select whichever voice you like the best, and then you press this blue continue button and you move on. Siri, how's the weather? Oh, now it wants us to answer these questions. Siri, how's the weather? Hey Siri, send a message. Siri, set a timer for 3 minutes. Hey Siri, get directions home. Siri, play some music. Alright, so it wanted us to speak those commands rather than answer the question, so you want to say those out loud so it can learn your voice. Now anytime you say the wake word Siri or Hey Siri, it'll come up and it will start listening to you automatically. So we'll press this blue continue button to move on, just like that. Next up is improve Siri in dictation. So you can share the audio recordings of your Siri conversations with Apple and their developer team and their team that analyzes these to make sure that Siri is doing what it's supposed to do. If you don't want to share these audio recordings, you press this blue "Not Now" text button at the very bottom. If you do want to share them, you press this blue "Share Audio Recording" button. Next up is Emergency SOS. You can press and hold for Emergency SOS. You just press and hold the side button and either volume button to make an emergency call. You've got cool features like crash detection. If it detects a severe car crash, it'll automatically call emergency services. And then in select countries, you've got Emergency SOS via satellite. So let's go ahead and press this blue continue button. We've reviewed the Emergency SOS features. We'll press continue. And now we're good to go. It says welcome to iPhone. We can go ahead and swipe up to continue. And it's asking us to set up cellular. I'll go ahead and say not now, but we'll set it up momentarily. And we're getting a ton of notifications. And at the very top here, I'm going to show you how to access your notification center right now. So if you get a notification and you want to see your notification center, you just swipe down from the very top. And here are all the notifications we just got in. So Apple Intelligence is ready. We got this notification. I can click and hold and read more on that. Time to experience the new personal intelligence system. We've got image creation tools. Genmoji, and Image Playground, and Image Wand are now available on your phone. You've got, so this is what your lock screen looks like. If we were to lock the phone and wake it back up, you've got things like your flashlight. You can press and hold and your flashlight will come on. You press and hold and then the flashlight is on just like that. You can press and hold and turn the flashlight off. You've got quick access to your camera on your lock screen. You can press and hold and activate your camera. And then you can take a photo. So we can take a photo of the camera there. And now we've got a camera in here. We can swipe up to go back to our lock screen and look at our phone to unlock it and swipe up. And now we're presented with the apps on our home screen. Next up, let's take a look at how we can customize the lock screen on our brand new iPhone 16e. Now you can see that the phone's locked. When I look at it, it should unlock. And now I can hold down and modify and customize the lock screen on this phone. You can have multiple versions of lock screens by swiping over and pressing a new and then scrolling down and selecting whichever one you want. So we can scroll down and we can select a different color here. We can scroll down. We've got various different colors. We can select the different collections. Let's go with the original iPhone. And then here it brings up a selection of modules that we can modify. We can add widgets to our lock screen. Right now, by default, the date shows. We can change it to our activity rings, the weather, the calendar, the clock, health, journal, or more. We can move it over to journal, feeling grateful there. Then we can go over here. We can select the time and we can customize what this looks like, the size of the font. We can skip and change the different fonts that they have here. I like this one right here. We can change the color of that font, and you can make this lock screen your very own lock screen just by coming in here and modifying all the different colors. So I liked this color right here. We can even go to the color wheel and pick a custom color ourselves. We can make it orange, and that matches the fish there. And now we've got a custom version of this lock screen. We can tap here and add more widgets. So we can add the batteries widget. We can see how far our iPhone is along there in our battery. We can scroll down. We can add a clock widget. We can scroll around and see which clocks that we want. We can add in the Cupertino. And now we have two widgets right here on our lock screen. Really cool that they have right here. You can even come down here and modify these buttons at the very bottom of your lock screen. Say you don't want a flashlight, you can press the minus button and you can press the plus button and add in a different control. Say you use the calculator often, you can tap the calculator and you're good to go there. You can press that. And then when you're done and you've done all the modifications that you want, you press this blue add button at the very top. And you can set it as a wallpaper pair, or you can customize the home screen wallpaper to be something different. I'm going to go ahead and set it as a wallpaper pair, and then I tap on this, and this is my lock screen now. So now when I lock the device using the button on the side and I unlock it, it is perfect. I've got my brand new widgets. I can look at the phone and swipe up to unlock, and I've got the brand new interface right here. You can now also modify what's on your iPhone on the home screen. All you have to do is just hold down on an icon and keep it held down until they wiggle. And then you can swipe around and you can move different icons to different pages. You can add a new page. You can move the icon anywhere on the screen, as you can see here. I can move it down there, or I can move it there, or I can move it right back to where it was. You can even add widgets. So you can press this edit button at the top left right here. You press that one time, and then you can press add a widget to the screen, and all of your widgets pop up. So we've got things like music, podcasts, reminders, clock, or move and fitness rings from activity, the battery widget, the stock widget, notes, maps, and more. So we can come over here, we can add the calendar widget. You can swipe around, you can see there's multiple dots at the very bottom there. You can swipe around and select whichever version of the forecast that you want. We can go with the details here and press this blue add widget button, and it adds it right to the home screen just like that on our brand new iPhone 16e. So you can add as many widgets as you want. You can drag them around. You can put them wherever you want. Say you want them on the front page here. We already have a weather widget right there, but there's two different versions of them. There's also widget stacks. So in this top sections, widget 1 and widget 2 right here, you can swipe between various widgets. And if you want to add another widget to the stack, you just tap on it one time, and then you press the add button, and then we can add music, and then we can add widget. And now it adds it to a stack. So you can see the stack. There's 4 widgets in the stack based off the dots right here on the right, and you can swipe between those. You can reorganize them. We can move the music widget to the very top if we want, just by dragging it up there to the top, and then we can press done, and now we've got the music widget along with the other widgets right here on our iPhone. Say we have this stack over here. We've got the news, we have the calendar, and photos. So say we want to drag this weather widget into that, then all we have to do is just drag it up, let go, and now the weather widget is a part of this stack over here. So you can have multiple widgets stacked up, and then you can swipe between them just like this. So this has been a complete beginner's guide of the iPhone 16e, where we've reviewed the entire setup process, how to modify things on your lock and home screen, access your activity, your notification center, and more. And one cool feature that I'll leave you with is also Control Center, that you can swipe up at the bottom right section of the screen and access all of your controls on your phone, like your Wi-Fi, your airplane mode, AirPlay, and your focus, your silence switch, and more. You've got all these kind of controls. It's very similar to the lock screen. And when you have a control at the bottom left and the bottom right, you can just swipe up. You can look at it to unlock and swipe up from the bottom right, or swipe down from the bottom right, and modify all your various controls right here from the 16e. Really cool piece of software. And one of the best parts of the 16e is that it uses Apple's C1 modem, a built-in modem built in-house that they created themselves, that connects to your cellular carrier. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. Let us know what your favorite iPhone 16e feature is in the comments below. And if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like. And we can't wait to create the next technology video for you. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.